starter, John Waslin, is on the ladder. The 3-year-olds are now set to go. The Aquanita Stakes, they're off and racing. First to get going, Outspoken Lad with the stablemate Black Fantasy, and they're going to head off Mojo Rhythm and Kentucky Blue through the first 150. In behind those came Fire at Will, followed further back by Tizzle Top. Dropping back last over on the rails is Blue Card. Outspoken Lad led for O'Donnell going to the first turn, and as they approach the crossing at the 1600, Outspoken Lad led by a length. Over the other Pierce trained 3-year-old and favourite Black Fantasy. Mojo Rhythm sits up running third on the inside. Then the Parnham trained 3-year-old Kentucky Blue with a length and a half. Blue Card pushing up on the inside of the Done Deal 3-year-old in Fire at Will. And last of all is Tizzle Top. Into the back they head. 1,300 metres to go in the Aquanita Stakes. The leader is Outspoken Lad. Out 3/4 to a length Black Fantasy. Over on the inside Mojo Rhythm with an even tempo. Running fourth is Kentucky Blue. They're a length and a half. Next of all, Blue Card racing on the inside of Fire at Will. And seeing them all is Tizzle Top. Spotting the leader only about 4 lengths head start as they go by the 1,000 and race to that far corner, leaving the back. Outspoken Lad pilots them. He flies the flag for Pierce Racing and leads the stablemate over on the outside. Black Fantasy 750 from home. Mojo Rhythm on the rails third, and there's been no moves afoot whatsoever. Kentucky Blue trailing up there fourth, a length and a half. Blue Card down on the inside of Fire at Will, and still back there whipping them all in is Tizzle Top. By the 500 they head, coming to the home turn. Outspoken Lad, Black Fantasy, and they're about to roll along now as Mojo Rhythm is extricated away from the fence behind those, and Kentucky Blue got shunted 4 deep. Further back Tizzle Top, 300 to go. Black Fantasy reaches the lead. Kentucky Blue on the outside of Mojo Rhythm and Outspoken Lad. Black Fantasy now under the persuader as Outspoken Lad lifts, and Kentucky Blue keeps coming from Mojo Rhythm. Black Fantasy and Outspoken Lad. Black Fantasy on the outside under desperate riding from Warwick and will win it. Gets home Black Fantasy from Outspoken Lad. Kentucky Blue ran third. Mojo Rhythm close up fourth. Then Tizzle Top. A long margin behind those. Then Fire at Will and the tail ender Blue Card. One, 2, 4, 3 placings here after the running of the Aquanita Stakes. Black Fantasy had to be really roused up by Lucy Warwick to eventually shrug off Outspoken Lad, who'd led them for a long way headed but was coming back resolutely. Kentucky Blue trailing up there, enjoyed a lovely run throughout and has got past Mojo Rhythm to grab third. Black Fantasy, though, after being placed in both the Raconteur and the Belmont Guineas, placed in a derby and wins finally a listed race this afternoon. He's second from 12. He's by Blackfriars out of Dream Along, trained by Dan and Ben Pearce. Lucy Warwick, of course, Dan Pearce trained a winner of this race in his own right with Newton Prince back in 2014, and 7 or 8 years on in actual fact now does it with his brother Ben in their training partnership. For Pierce Racing, Madame's Facey, Bay, Smith, Hubbard, Bonilla, Gotti, Cousins, Cherrywood Racing, Price, the Best and Fairest Syndicate, Archibald Salt, Madafari and Lucy Warwick in the saddle, getting home to score by a short neck. A length and a half second and third, 2:06.55 the time, 35.41. An even Aquanita Stakes. The time here that they've run, Outspoken Lad second by Awesome Rock out of Outspoken Lady, Sean O'Donnell for Pierce Racing. They get the Quinella, as most thought. Kentucky Blues by Snippet Sun out of Miss Margine, Chris Parnham for Neville Parnham. Going to the next event, the fillies to step out on stage. 2,000 metres, set weights of the Belmont Oaks, 3 the Velvet Queen, 8 Salacia Queen are the scratchings, and a field of 8 to run in the next of our feature 3-year-old events this afternoon. As Brittany joins us, no surprises there, but it was a battle for Black Fantasy to beat off Outspoken Lad.
Was Outspoken Lad very brave, wouldn't lie down and wanted to make sure he was there in the frame. When you get the Pierce Racing Quinella here, Ben, who were you cheering for? A bit scared to ask, given that you are surrounded by all of the Black Fantasy owners, but did you have a preference?
Well, there's a bit of stable rivalry. I actually ride Outspoken Lab most of the time, and Chloe rides Black Fantasy, so we had a bit of competition there. But it was great to see them both perform the way they did, and Outspoken Lab was super brave, kicking back on the inside. They both got left out there. We didn't want to be there, but no one else wanted to take it up. So, yeah, they were both really, really good.
We call that Chloe 1, Ben 0. What about the two of them? Do they work together?
Yeah, they work together most of the time. Like, they've come through their preps together. They've had similar preps even from when they were broken in, because we earmarked them both as Derby prospects, and so yeah, they've come through a lot of the way together.
Black Fantasy placed in a Raconteur, placed in a Belmont Guineas, placed in a Derby. How much did he deserve this victory?
Oh, and placed in a Magic Millions over 1,200 first up, which is incredible. So he's done a great job, so he really deserves it.
What about this big group of owners? It's so lovely to see so many people here to cheer, well, I guess both of them home.
Yeah, that's it. Hopefully they open the winners bar up for both the first and second placers.
Won't be able to fit them all in. What about when they clash in another 2 weeks' time in the Belmont Classic?
It's going to be interesting to see.
Do you think that maybe it can be Outspoken Lad that turns the tables?
Hopefully, because he deserves one as well.
It'd be nice to have one apiece. Well done on the victory and well done on the Quinella.
Thanks.
There he is, Ben Pearce. Black Fantasy defeats Outspoken Lad, but gee, Outspoken Lad put up a nice fight to keep him honest right the way to the line. The pair 1-2 in running, and they finish 1-2 in the concluding stages. Lots of owners out here, and it'd be hard for Ben and Dan to be cheering. I don't know which way they would be cheering for, because both horses deserving. Lucy Warwick jumping off the scales, just catching up with Scott.
Well, Lucy, very often you look at a race on paper and think this looks a beautiful assignment for him, and that was probably the case today.
Yeah, it really was, and I thought, I hope I'm not overlooking something. I did think the other runner, Outspoken Lad, was probably the one to beat. I just thought it would be, knowing Dan's horses, Ben and Dan, they'll be super fit. We'll probably get it easy because there was no pace. It was pretty much how it played out.
How easy did you two get it out in front?
Yeah, look, I felt like they were really comfortable. I'm sure everyone else behind us probably wish we went faster, but they were travelling nice, and just tried to put some speed into it from the 600, because I know he feels like he travels up and then he gets a bit lost. So I just didn't want to just like let them get on top of us before the turn.
Credit where it's due. That second horse fought back really hard on your inside.
It did, and it's I think it's another one. It went in the Derby, so it's a definite stayer.
What about 2,200 of the Belmont Classic? Will he run it out strongly?
I think so. I don't see why not.
Congratulations, well done.
Thanks.
There is Lucy Warwick, takes out the Aquanita Stakes of 2022 with Black Fantasy, who defeats Outspoken Lad in a Pearce race in Quinella.
Sodo, sodo, te body, sodo, te body, sodo, sodo.